Hey everyone, welcome to Silicon AI channel. So today the topic would be DeepSeek or ChatGPT. Which one is the best one or which one is better? So today we're gonna just compare these two models, ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Very popular models these days. Everyone is talking about them, but I didn't see any actual comparison on the internet, so that's why we are making this video. And so today's video, we're gonna go through different scenarios. I created 4 different scenarios for this comparison. So the first would be, so I'm gonna ask a very simple question. So I'm gonna just make everything more complicated for them. So it would be first a question, then it would be a simple one. After that, I'm gonna ask a more complicated one. After that, I'm gonna ask both of them to write me a technical article. And for the last one, actually, it would be coding challenge for both of them. And I have a surprise, fun thing for you at the end. Make sure that you see the video till end. But before jumping through that, we will have a quick introduction about these models. And please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Okay, let's start it. So the DeepSeek R1 and ChatGPT, which AI model is better? So here is a table that compare both models together. So DeepSeek model is released on January 2025. The ChatGPT is around here for a long time, I guess 2022 November. So the architecture pretty much is kind of different. That's the main reason for the most of differences actually, because each model is working in a different way. So the DeepSeek is basically the architecture is mixture of experts, and for the ChatGPT is transformer based GPT. So in next parts, we're gonna talk more about these different architectures and how they're gonna affect the different things actually. And the performance here, you have the performance in some benchmarks. We have the results here. So there are different performances for the mathematics. One of them is better than the other one. For the performance coding, as you can see, this is the this is the DeepSeek. This one will be ChatGPT. But they're pretty close. And the other thing is that based on both these websites, both these companies, for the DeepSeek to make it, they spend around $6 million for the whole thing, for the whole package. But on the other hand, the ChatGPT, the OpenAI company, they are claiming that they spent $6 billion. Yes, with B, $6 billion, and the other company says $6 million. That's a huge gap. So we'll go through these things later, but okay, let's continue. And here, one thing is that for the DeepSeek, the main use cases would be logical reasoning, problem solving, coding, academic and scientific research. And for the ChatGPT, if you are a content creator, educator, or you just want to do coding, ChatGPT would be a good option. The other thing is that cost. So ChatGPT, you have to pay for it. Now there is a free version of that, but after couple of times that you use it, it's gonna tell you that okay, so you hit your limit. You have to wait for a couple of hours, or you can just pay for it. So $20 per month would be the membership. But the other hand, DeepSeek is free. The other cool thing about DeepSeek is that it's open source. So open source could be a good thing and could be a bad thing at the same time. We'll talk about that. But the ChatGPT, no, there is no such a thing. It is not open source. So here, just quick thing about being open source. So because it's open source, it's very interesting for startups, smaller businesses, technical experts. Because let's say you have a startup, you can easily just use build your startup based on DeepSeek because it's open source, right? You cannot do such a thing with the ChatGPT. Here's the thing. It could be good because it's easy. Just you don't have to go through all those machine learning process and create a new AI model. So just use that one. But the other thing is that if all companies and startups, they go to the DeepSeek, so basically the whole ecosystem would be based on DeepSeek. And you know that any actually open source company, they can at some point they can say that, okay, so we are not open source anymore. Or the other thing that because it's open source and everything is based on them, so everyone they pretty much have the information and data for all different companies. It's a Chinese company, and so I'm not sure if I build my own startup based on that or no. So the other thing, okay, let's move. So the customization, because it's open source, the DeepSeek, there's a high potential for customization. You can just customize it whatever you want, but again, ChatGPT is very restricted. You don't have all those options to change it. And here we are talking about the pricing. DeepSeek is fairly affordable comparing to the ChatGPT. And so here, the ChatGPT is a generative AI platform. And the way that it works is that's the architecture, generative pre-trained transformers. That's the architecture. That's a big difference here. But the DeepSeek here, actually, the architecture is mixture of experts. Basically, what it says is that DeepSeek is more efficient. Why? Because it's like that for the DeepSeek, let's say you have a question. So DeepSeek only calls the people or the resources that are expert on that field. So it's not going to call everybody. Just use some specific resources to solve the problem. That's why it's very efficient. But the other hand, ChatGPT is not like that. It's just calling everybody. That's why it's expensive to run it. It needs lots of power. That's how they are different. And here, it's in a better wording. It says that the architecture. So it says that both DeepSeek R1 and ChatGPT are AI platform that uses NLP and machine learning. The way they are trained or built are different. Both models use different architecture type, which also change the way they perform and for sure how they gonna cost. And so that's another thing. DeepSeek, the DeepSeek architecture. And the ChatGPT one. Here is a very interesting benchmark, the performance benchmark. As you can see, these blue ones are the DeepSeek, and the gray one are different versions of the ChatGPT OpenAI. So as you can see, most of them, especially in the math, DeepSeek is doing a better job. However, in some of them, like MMLU, which here we have it, is the massive multitask language understanding benchmark test model on a wide range of subjects from humanities to STEM field, and ChatGPT fairly better than DeepSeek. So in different fields, each one could work better than the other one. So here we're going to talk about the efficiency and speed consideration. So DeepSeek R1, the architecture allow it to process information more efficiently, as we talked about that. Reports suggest that DeepSeek R1 can be up to twice as fast as ChatGPT for complex tasks, particularly in areas like coding and mathematical computations. And here it says that who should use DeepSeek and who should use ChatGPT. So basically, if you're looking for problem-solving capability or academic research support or logical reasoning focus, you have to go with the DeepSeek. I remember actually during my PhD for this academic research support. So when you are doing lots of academic research, there are huge data sets. You have to go through them and just fetch the results. I remember, so to publish different papers, journals, you have to just go through all these data sets. Some of them, actually most of them, are huge. So let's say I'm, as a human, if I want to look for something specific on that thing, on the data set, it's gonna take lots of time. You can improve the whole process. I was actually, at some point, I was writing some small bash script in the Linux to look for it on the dataset. But here it's very simple. You have the DeepSeek, just type what you need and it goes through the dataset and just find it for you. Just think about that. That's awesome. But on the other hand, in the ChatGPT, if you are a creative project, you want something for creative project support or educational assistance or content creation aid, the ChatGPT is the way to go. Mostly these days, content creation, if you go through the Facebook marketplace, there are different ads for it, for different things, and most of them, when you see that, you can tell that it's based on ChatGPT. So lots of advertisers these days are using ChatGPT to create the content actually for them. And the other thing is the pricing. As we said, there is a free option for the ChatGPT, but it's pretty much nothing. You have to pay for it. So $20. We are looking into a $20 per month at least, but DeepSeek is free. So the other thing is that the cost for DeepSeek actually, it's for big companies and enterprises. It's not for individuals. Let's say that if you have a big company and you want to use DeepSeek, so the input cost is $0.55 per million token, and the output, the result that you want per million token, you have to pay 2.19. But when we look into ChatGPT, look at that, man. It's $15, and for the input cost, it's $15 per million tokens, and for the output cost, it's $60 per million token. You can see the difference here. It's unbelievable. There's a huge gap, and the main reason is the architecture, the way that each model is working. So the other thing is the accessibility. We talked about that. The one is open source, the other one is not. There are some pros and cons with each one. And which one to choose? So it depends on you, what you want to do, why you want to use them. Before going to the next section, which is comparing different two models in different scenarios, I want to tell you what hardware I'm using for this video. So you could be surprised. I'm just using a simple Raspberry Pi 5. This is the 8GB version of that. So I'm using this simple board. The reason for that is that I want to show you, I want to tell you that you don't need a fancy computer to just work around with these AI models. Even a simple Raspberry Pi 5 can get the job done. And yeah, so both models, all the processing, all the tests would be on this small computer actually. Okay, now let's start the cool part. So for this part, we prepared actually 4 different scenarios. So we're gonna ask same question from both models, and we're gonna rate the answer based on the time and the accuracy. Let's start with the first question. First question would be, who is the 9th president of the USA? So let me try. Ready? Okay, let's see. Let's see how they respond. Okay, so ChatGPT, what it says. The 9th president of the United States was William Henry Harrison. He served as president for only 32 days in 1841, the shortest tenure in the US history, before dying of pneumonia. I don't know what is that. Now look at to the DeepSeek result. The ninth president of the United States was William Henry Harrison. He served the shortest term of any U.S. president, holding office from March 4, 1841. So, again, we can see the DeepSeek actually, I'm just surprised. I didn't expect that. DeepSeek is providing a more accurate answer comparing to the ChatGPT. So that's the time that the president died. Just 31 days into his presidency, he died of that sickness, pneumonia, believed to have been caused by the harsh weather during his lengthy inaugural address. Okay, so here again, DeepSeek is providing us more details about the reason for the death. Maybe harsh weather, but ChatGPT, nothing. I didn't expect that, but that's what we got. Okay, so far, 1 for DeepSeek, 0 for ChatGPT. Okay, let's ask next question. So next question would be, I'm gonna ask both models to write a short story, a short horror story, maybe just in 3 paragraphs. Okay. Okay. Oh, ChatGPT was much faster. Much faster. Okay. Okay, let's see. ChatGPT. The old radio in Emily's attic cracked to life at midnight. Huh. That's scary. That's how it started. This is she fumbled for her phone, suddenly guessed again. Okay, now let's have a look to the chat. The DeepSeek one. The old house at the end of Willow Lane had been abandoned for decades. Okay. I'm not sure which one is better. But to me, actually, from the way it started, I think DeepSeek is giving more details. And I like details. That's why I think still DeepSeek is the way to go. But actually, when we talk about the speed, because the speed is a very important factor for us too. So ChatGPT was much faster than DeepSeek. And I mean, yeah, and the way that both models, they did a very good job actually. But again, because for the ChatGPT, it's pretty much, it was much faster than DeepSeek. I would say for this one, let's give 1 point to ChatGPT and 0 to DeepSeek. So far, 1 in total. Okay, now let's ask the third question. So now here, I'm expect something from DeepSeek. Let's see. So here, we're gonna ask both models to write a technical article about the quantum computing. We're gonna see how they respond. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's just open the canvas, ChatGPT. Again, that's an option that you don't have it on DeepSeek. So also when I was playing the ChatGPT today, I realized that they just added an option for coding. So basically you can just use ChatGPT as a compiler. Just type your code and just run it. It works for most programming languages. Okay, now let's get back to the answer. So introduction to quantum computing. Yeah, I would say both models, they did a good job. Pretty much same time. So DeepSeek is providing some examples, which is a good thing. And let's see ChatGPT is if it's providing something here. So I don't see any example here. That's a major thing. But the other side, it talks about the fundamental principles of quantum computing. We don't see such a thing here in ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Maybe it is somewhere there, but the way that ChatGPT is just listed everything, I prefer this one. It's more organized. Things are changing. I was expecting, to be honest, for the second scenario, I was expecting to, for the third one, sorry, for the third scenario, I was expecting DeepSeek do a better job. But seems that ChatGPT is the winner here. I like this one. I am not sure, maybe some people, they like the answer from the DeepSeek, but I like ChatGPT. It's very organized, listed everything. Everything is much easier to read and understand here in the ChatGPT. But however, we saw that DeepSeek provided some examples, some companies, they already released some quantum computing, but we didn't see such a thing in ChatGPT. Maybe that's another thing. But to me, I like ChatGPT, this and the way that they answered. So I want to say one ChatGPT. Oh, actually, let's say go half ChatGPT, half DeepSeek. So total would be 1.5, 1.5. So it all comes to the last question, the coding part. But before going there, let's have a quick break and see you on the last part. Here, I'm going to ask a simple question from both models. So I'm going to ask both models to give us a Python code for a data analysis code. So simple data analysis Python. So, right, okay. Simple Python code for data analysis. Same thing here. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So pretty much that's it. So that's a pretty simple Python code from ChatGPT. Okay, it's using Panda. Okay, same library. DeepSeek is using Pandas. To me, actually, if you're frequently doing coding, so you have the answer here. It's a pretty simple code in ChatGPT. But let's say you are a new person. The way that the DeepSeek answer is different. It's gonna walk you step by step through that. So first step, install the required library, which is the Panda here. Third, the second one would be save the script. Just pretty much create a new file. The extension should be .py, which is for the Python codes. And so yeah, the pass with your data set, because it's a data analysis, right? You must work on a data set. And yeah, just give a new name to the column you want to analyze. That's it. And here it says what this code does. Basically load the data set, display the first 5 rows, provide summary statistics. Pretty cool. And on the ChatGPT, I'm not sure. It's a fairly good code here. Let's say start with the library, sample data set. Basically, it's creating data set for itself. On the DeepSeek side, it assumes that you already have the data set. So different approach, but still both models give you reasonable codes for what you need. What I ask actually, if I need more detailed code, I have to give them more details. Okay, so far I'm happy with both. So now that's a cool thing. I'm gonna ask DeepSeek to add a bug into its code and then pass it to the ChatGPT and see if the ChatGPT is able to catch that bug, and do the same thing with the ChatGPT and DeepSeek again. Okay, so here I'm gonna talk with the DeepSeek. Okay, ask it to add a small bug. Okay, so it's gonna tell you what is the bug. Okay, so I'm gonna just copy this code. Ask ChatGPT, can you find a bug in a... Okay, let's give it Python code. Oh, we got some technical difficulties here. Okay. Just crashed. Okay. I have no idea what happened. Okay, let's ask the same question again. Can you find the bug in Python code? Share the Python code. Okay, very to the point. That's the code. Bug found. It says that there's a mistake in the histogram plotting section. The script attempts to plot a histogram using a non-existent column instead of the intent. Okay. Yeah, basically that's the same bug. Column name. Okay, good. So it was able, we had a glitch here on the ChatGPT side, but yeah, I mean, in terms of being able to find the bug, it was able. So, okay, now do the same thing. It was pretty quick actually, right? And the ChatGPT was pretty quick to find the bug. Okay. Simple Python code. This. Okay. Okay, I asked it add a bug. Buggy Python code for data analysis. Okay, now let's ask the question from DeepSeek. Can you find the bug in a code? Okay, of course. Oh, nice. Let's see. Okay. I'm expecting to be able bug in code plotting section. Okay. Histogram plotting section. Bug histogram plotting. Okay. Yeah. Both models are fairly able to find the bugs. So here again, both they gave us good quality code at first for data analysis, and both of them are able to find the bugs. So I would say 1-1. So total would be 2.5 DeepSeek, 2.5 ChatGPT, pretty equal. Based on the result of this video, we realize that both models are fairly good. There are some differences, especially on the architecture, the way that both models find the answer. About the costs and the prices, for sure there are differences. But in terms of the result, I would say both are fairly similar. They are doing a fantastic job. So here's a question. Which one is the better one? I have no idea. I guess both of them are good. It depends on what you want to do and if you want to spend some money or no. And one of them is open source, which could be a good thing. At the same time, could be a bad thing too. So it all depends on you. So that was a very interesting video. We compared both models and we had a very interesting time working with both models. Yeah, so at the end, again, it's all depends on you. Which model works for you, that would be the best one. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and see you on the next videos. Cheers.